All right, so this is my client Marisol. We've been working together for the past 3 months, and today we're just going to talk about the journey and how everything's been. So let's go ahead and get right to it. You ready, Marisol?
I'm ready.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and just kick it off then. Talk to us about what exactly was your life like prior to starting your fitness journey with me.
So prior to starting, I was pretty much stagnant. I didn't do anything other than try to attempt to eat healthy. And that was still not, it still wasn't good enough. I did a lot of, I guess you could say like yo-yo dieting, where it would work at the beginning, but then shortly after I'd gain all the weight back. But to say that I actually exercised or did the things that I'm doing now, nowhere near close to it. Or ever thought that, or should I say, did I think that I could do those things? Definitely.
Yeah, honestly, like I see your post and it seems like you just have this fire inside of you and it can't be tamed.
Yeah, it's like feeling so different. You wake up feeling different, you go to bed feeling different, and then you actually start to find that the environment that you start to form for yourself create is different, because the energy that you're forming inside yourself, you don't realize that those little small changes can really change like so many aspects of your life, from who your personal life, your relationship with your partner or your spouse, your relationship with your family, and then your relationship with people around you in general. Because at that point, it's either they keep up, or you kind of start to weed people out slowly without realizing that you're doing it, but it's happening because you're changing, and they just people don't acclimate well to change, especially when it doesn't fit their circle. So you kind of say, I've gone to that whole saying, keep your circle small, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That there's reasons for that to be said. So yeah, definitely whole mind and body complete transformation change.
Wow, wow. And I love that you started talking about the mind transformation as well, because that kind of leads to my next question is just talk to us about the biggest changes that you experienced, all the way from physical to body. Obviously, we can see it today on video. So more of the physical, of course, it's important, but also the spiritual, like what that's like was like for you, like talking about like just the holistic changes that you experienced.
Yeah, definitely. So, for like right off the bat, I experienced a whole bunch of emotional connection with what everything was going on, because, of course, I went through the whole I can't do this. What am I thinking? Why am I doing this? Kind of thought process, especially because I was so far off the spectrum of where I thought I could, that I didn't even think that I could have the ability to do the things that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And it there was plenty of times, I can't tell you, at the beginning, like I cried through workouts, or that I would just stop and didn't want to do it, and I still would go. And purposely, I bought myself a mirror for my bedroom and to hang on the door, so that way I could watch myself work out, because to it forced me to accept who I was.
Wow. Yeah, and it's so powerful when you kind of are looking back at yourself. You're like, wow, like I don't know. There's a certain just confidence that comes to like to really like love yourself, and it's crazy how taking care of yourself physically really does. It's not just physically, like it goes all the way to the emotional. There's just like it correlates. What you do in the physical like affects like the spiritual. And I love that you said that, how like seeing yourself like actually work, like you tell yourself, oh, I just want to get through this day, and you tell yourself, but like I think what I love about working out is that you're actually seeing yourself do the dirty work. as opposed to
Exactly.
like when you're chasing a goal, you don't really like see it, like, you know what I mean? Like you're doing the motions, but like it's different. Even at the gym too, like a lot of people do like to, just watch themselves too, like just like, wow, like that is me. But yes, no,
Yeah.
I love that for sure. So you think that it kind of helped you like accept who you were,
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
watching
And like,
yourself work out.
so from so a little history, like I had cancer at the age of 18, and I had a major surgery that for a lot of women, you
Uh-huh.
for me this has never been about um the aesthetics of looking good and
Mhm.
trying to impress somebody. It's been more of being healthy and taking care of myself and making sure that I can see myself, being feeling 10 years younger when I'm in my 40s and 50s versus feeling like, I can't breathe or I can't walk or I can't have to be in a wheelchair, whatever it may be. It's always been about the health of being healthy for myself and being healthy for the people that I love. But in the process, it made me really fall in love with who I was and who I was becoming.
Mhm.
And I had a really hard time looking at myself sometimes because as a woman, you want to feel healthy and comfortable in your skin. And I have a huge scar that runs across the belly of my on my belly that I've always had a hard time taking my shirt off or feeling comfortable with my shirt off, or even better yet, putting on a bathing suit that would show my scar. And instead of being proud of who I am because of it, and being proud that I'm alive and that I'm well and that I'm able and capable of moving on with my life, it's still a reminder of the things that have happened to me. But at the same time, the the mindset, your mind, you allow the things of the world and your mind to take over instead of just working through it so that you can better love yourself. But as you've seen, at the very beginning, I would not work out without a shirt. I would wear a shirt for everything.
Yeah.
And I started to find that as I was watching myself work out and I was feeling the motions, and I found myself taking my shirt off and watching my body move with the movements and do the work and sweat. And I found myself taking pictures of myself and being open to sharing them without second guessing myself.
It's
And it
loving
made me,
yourself.
it was a whole different
Yeah.
feel. Like it's kind of like shedding a skin on yourself and kind of just kind of pulling yourself out of that cocoon and being like, this is who I am. Like I'm growing.
So beautiful. I know when I would see I saw your content change or your stories, I was like, "Oh, well." Like you could just like see, it's crazy how you can just see it. You don't even have to like be in your like actual like physical presence, but you can feel like when someone's really going through change. So I know that you've already inspired so many people's lives, and it's been so amazing to just like watch you. All right. So, no, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um Okay, so the next question is talk to us about just something that me as a coach that I taught you that you feel that you can really like take, to remember, you know what I mean, like years from now. What's something that you learned just through the coaching style that you think that you can take?
Well, one of the things I really appreciated was the time that you took to learn about why I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And when I shared with you about my health journey and what I was dealing with my history and my medical history, and my specific issues that I was having, you took the time to research those things and learn about them. That way, you could better accommodate me as far as exercise as well as health, and meal plans. And then, of course, staying connected with me, like, is this working? Is it not working? And understanding, that what I didn't need and what I needed to help me get through those things. And that was really important to me because some people will not take it that far. They'll hear you out and then initially they just say, "Oh, well, you know what? I have these plans and this is what I go by and that's pretty much it." And they don't alter it according to the person. And that's super important, especially for me because of my medical condition. um, it's very hard to lose weight and it's very hard to find something that works for people with polycystic
Yeah.
and having been sharing my journey with all of well, with on my social media. I follow a lot of groups that have reached out to me during this time and then said, hey, what are you doing? This is working. What's going on? And m- I'm putting in the work, yes, but the work came, you sat there, you put that together for me. And so that means a lot to me, to when I'm seeing the results. Yes, I'm putting the work in, but
Mm.
all of that was formulated and planned and timed all by you. And I'm grateful for that. I'll always carry that form with me, because you pushed me over that hump that I needed. So that way I could keep going and not think that I was going to allow something to block me from doing and being what I can be and I am becoming. So definitely, I appreciate that greatly.
That's amazing. No, and it was crazy too. I love what I do. It was just crazy, when it comes to working out and like, I guess chasing goals, you don't, I mean, you kind of expect bad things to happen, but like really, it seemed like resistance was really against you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, talk a little bit about that. Like, just like your injury and like, did you like want to quit? Like, what kept you going? In those times, like, also this is a good thing because I know a lot of people ask me, and this is a big thing too, why people just don't even start their journey is they say, what if I'm not motivated? So like, showing, or I guess using your experience with like, of overcoming like tons of resistance, what kind of kept you going in those moments? Like, how did you find motivation to keep going? So this is kind of just like speaking to like others that are kind of like on the fence of like whether to even start their fitness journey.
Yeah, so at the beginning, like anything and everything that could work against me was working against me. So like I know that when we first met and we had our first conversation and our consultation, and we started to talk about the financing of everything. And during that time, like of course, like we were getting ready to meet, and that week my husband lost his job, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is unreal. I cannot do this. This is like I can't. Like I thought about all the things that all the finances that were going to put me in place of like not being able to do it.
Yeah.
And of course, you start second guessing yourself. And I said, at that point, I sat down and I said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do it. Something's going to happen and I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And so I just trusted it. And as well, like this whole thing was a gift to myself for my birthday. Like I never given myself anything ever for my birthday. And so this was the year that I said, the heck with it. I'm going to do it. This is for you. And it was for me.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and then here we were going through the motions, and before I knew it, I was like waist deep in. And right when we got to the process of starting to run, I was just enjoying the process of running. And I remember it was such a nice day at the park, and I went waist deep in, and about midway through my run, I I twisted my ankle, and then my ankle was like all messed up and it swelled up. And so I instantly, like, of course, I messaged you and I was like, what is going on? This is gonna mess up everything. Like I was ready just to just say the heck with this. I'm not doing this. Like I'm screwing myself up instead of growing and doing good things. So that happens, and in the process of trying to take care of myself from my ankle, about 3 days later, getting out of the shower, I trip and almost fall out of the shower like an old lady, back of my knee. And so I end up at the emergency room having to get a brace for my knee. So yeah, to say that I had some major setbacks is like just like that's the least to say. And so yeah, I worked through it, and there was a day where I sat in bed, maybe 2 days after everything had really happened, like the course of the week had happened. And I sat in bed with, I had a heating pad and I had an ice pack and I had a tube of this it's from my essential oils that I use that's supposed to help for pain. And I sat there and I was rubbing my knee, and my husband's looking at me from across the room. He's like, "What is wrong with you?" And he's like, "Don't you start crying." And I was like, "I can't believe this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me?" And I'm like, for once I'm trying to do something good, and look what all the things that are happening to me. And he was like, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're doing all the things you need to do. Just take care of yourself. And so I hobbled around, and as hard as it was for me to not do things, because I, I messaged you instantly and I was like, I can't do this. I can't not stay in a place now. Like I
You're
can't, my
freaking out.
body had already become accustomed to moving around and doing something.
Mhm.
And as it is, I'm not a person just to not do something. I'm always doing something, even though when I wasn't working out. But now that I'm working out, it's like it was coming out of me like I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And so I found little things to do, like move around, keep myself busy. And in that time, I found myself reading and, of course, connecting to people that it meant a lot to me, and reaching out to people that I know that have kind of gone through things like this, and kind of make connections with them to help, like my small circle of like help me get through this. Like, is it gonna be okay? And before I knew it, I started doing little walks and getting myself back there, and then still continuing on doing other work that didn't involve high intensity for my leg. And before I knew it, I was running again,
Yeah.
and it was like the best feeling in the whole world. Like the day that I ran, the day that I ran, and I hurt myself, um, that I hurt my knee. And I remember this because I have always wanted to run in the rain. And growing up in a Mexican household, they say, don't get wet because you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
And so I second guessed myself, and I wasn't gonna go out and run, and I ran out, and I ran, and the rain was raining, like
Oh,
pure rain. And I remember when I finished, I was like,
like a
this
movie
is the
scene.
best feeling in the world. Like,
Wow.
to think that I thought I couldn't do this and I'm doing it. It was like the greatest feeling ever.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I went through all that. And then I also went through the process of, like I said, my husband lost losing his job and trying to figure things out. And lo and behold, everything kind of just panned itself out and it worked. And we went through it. And so, like, we're going here almost on 90 days. And in the course of this, like, I went through a lot of emotional things, like, as well. Like, I didn't think, like, so my sister's currently stationed away and we still haven't seen her. And I'm dealing with that. And my little sister and I are super connected.
Yeah.
And so when I was going through all these things, she was messaging me, telling me it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna get through this. You're gonna do this. Like, I'm super proud of you. I can't wait to come home. We can, I'll race you down the street to see if you can keep
Oh,
up with me.
I love
And
it.
so, like, that was super important to me as well, to help lift me and guide me
Yeah.
through those terrible things. And then, of course, like, the whole mindset thing. Like, at the beginning, I was like, this is silly. Like, I don't understand this. And then as I started going through it,
Mm.
and like living, like truly going through it, and I was really living it, um, I started to see how I was changing and how the world around me was changing because I was changing, and I started to see things in a different light. And so, in the process, I lost my best friend because of it. But because
Mm.
but because of this, I had something to lean on to get me through. Had I not had this process, I probably would have laid in bed, not done anything. I would have been a hermit crab and not come out. I wouldn't have talked to anybody. I wouldn't have been able to face um, my emotions and my the all the feelings that I was feeling because of it. But because I had this to lean back on, I spent my days running. I spent my days lifting. I spent my days talking with people, and because of it, it made me feel better, and it made me be able to push over that hump to keep going and moving. And um, I feel like I'm a better person because of it. And I remember having that conversation with you, like how hard it was. And it's kind of like you go through a grieving process, but it's one of those things, like, I came to realize that sometimes you think that there's people that are supposed to be a part of who you are and where you're going, but they just make a quick stop, and then you gotta just keep going. You gotta keep going. Like, if I stopped and I allowed myself to stay there, who knows what would have happened to me or who I would be. And so I don't want to be that person, and I want to keep growing, and I want to keep I'm making big goals for myself. And then not only for myself, but for a lot of people that I care about, that I want to see them be healthy and I want to see them grow and into being better people for themselves as well.
Wow. No, I mean it's amazing, and it was just amazing just seeing it all. I couldn't have even planned what happened, but it just happened so perfectly in a way. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you learn more in those moments that were hard than you did, in the easy stuff.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I have, but thank you so much, for sharing, and I look forward to just seeing you continue your fitness journey. What's your Instagram username?
It is Magpie. I can't even remember.
Follow Hi on Instagram and follow her fitness journey. You can
Yeah,
find her on my account. All right,
you can tag me. You can tag me on your
I will.
Insta
I,
story.
I will.
You can